I never left.
Okay, so yeah, continuing with the next video and with the things. Apparently this is an event night at the Elysium, and things are gonna happen here. So, you, the
Another
chanting,
Smashathon, I'm guessing.
well, it's essentially the first one since the first one never actually happened. But yeah,
No one participated that was actually here.
yeah, pretty much.
It's your strength score, Malik.
Yes.
What did you say?
I just heard my name and I said yes. What?
Uh, Dracula wanted to know what your strength is like. The Bourgeois regularly hold events to well, let off steam by bashing up and trashing cars.
I
That,
have 2 on strength.
yeah.
You use melee for this.
You use, I think it should be an extended strength melee thing, probably.
Well, I have 4 dice, so it's better than nothing.
It would be 4.
Yeah, you can always buff it. It's perfectly fine if you want to do that.
Why not? Let's have some fun.
Yeah, the prince is actually talking with the Malkavian Primogen, meanwhile, and
I nod.
the chanting isn't too loud yet. People just seem to be slowly ramping themselves up for the main event. People seem to be filtering in, and yes, the Promethean is here.
Damn it!
You really are worried
Well,
about this guy, right?
oh, I'm mostly just annoyed by him because he's apparently everywhere, as well as being incredibly hostile against us.
Well,
Hostile towards us.
all honesty, he's trying to catch up with Vampire Society, right? So, he isn't necessarily gonna be, sitting on the sidelines. He's gonna be at Elysium a lot since he's, trying to play catch up after being centuries in torpor.
I, tr- uh, I try to talk with Emma unless he's really busy with chanting or something.
No,
Well,
he's perfectly fine talking to you too.
well, it is good to meet you again, Emmett.
Yeah,
Emmett Brasher.
yeah, he just nods at you.
Well, the prince. I look over to the prince over there. Look back at Emmett. Ask me for you to spread the word about us acquiring the area around the Chantry as our domain, due to the successful destruction of the Daylight Commandos, as they're called. They decided to attack us. Oh, and Albertus asked me to say hi.
He actually smiles at this. He does seem to be perfectly okay with Alberta, unlike the prince. So, sure, you show him the paper, he takes a glance at it, nods, and actually asks you if there was anything else.
No, not really. Actually, when will this smashathon, as you seem to call you bourgeois seem to call it, be happening? And how do
Oh,
you enter it?
well, at the table there's weaponry. Grab a piece and once we start, go to work. As for when it starts, well, when a suitably large crowd has gathered, I've had another 10-15 minutes, no more, I think. Soon.
I go over here, like I have now changed into my trench coat instead of my expensive suit.
Okay. Malik?
And and under it, of course, I'll have my sword, but I don't need to use that right now. No need to blunt it. But
Yeah.
I'll be taking a bat or whatever there is here, like a
There appear to be a
sledgehammer or
couple
something, maybe.
of dull axes that you can grab. They're not really combat ready. They're just used for hacking at metal, but, you know, they can still do damage to a car.
Well,
The-
that's good. I
There's
grab
one.
one and just stand and stand around waiting for everyone, more people to show up.
Sure, Malik. Do you want to do anything while everyone is getting ready?
What do you mean? You want me to mingle, or do you want me? Are you asking if I want to participate in bashing things?
Well, I assume you're gonna participate. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't.
Yeah.
But
Wasn't this guy, like the guy I'm standing next to right now, wasn't he one of the people who went to the to check out the Chantry with the sheriff?
yeah, he's the gangrel that was backing up the sheriff. One of them. The prince seems to use the gangrel, or the gangrel seem very willing to volunteer for the situations where force is necessary. For the prince, that
Well,
is.
if it isn't, well, we meet again. I never got to ask your name last we met. Oh, did I?
It's Kevin Dawson. And, if I may say so, my compliments on the job you did back there.
Oh, no need to go around. Oh, there's no need. I only did what I did it to I only did it to protect myself and my clan. It would have been such a shame if the good Lord Cornelius, had to send another batch to replace us.
He just smirks at this. Yes, I'm sure it would have been. We did go through the previous set, the one before you, rather quickly.
I hope there weren't too much of a hassle.
Oh no, the burns healed nicely, it's fine.
Well, that's good to know.
Do you want to roll manipulation intimidation with that?
No, there's no need. Like, I got what he meant, and I'm not pushing that issue further.
I mean, if you wanted to actually do a pissing contest with him, there is like literally, he's probably the best vampire you could do it with.
Okay.
Okay, so this is
Right next to the yes, this is a very smart idea. Let's do this right next to their Primogen.
well, that's
I'm
just
so going to hell. Well, I'm already a vampire, so of course I'm going to hell. What the heck am I talking about?
Incidentally, you can also be spreading the news about what happened in the Chantry and making some rolls to be awesome. And that's your roll, 5699. Jack.
I haven't rolled it. You rolled yet.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it then. This will be a contested manipulation intimidation roll as you engage in a little bit of a pissing contest to see who's scarier.
Damn, I suck at trolling. Oh my god, he's even worse.
You know, I felt it coming. You
Can
felt
I
it
at least
coming.
at least come over and try to look more intimidating so he's not so
There's no
pathetic?
need. He already lost it due to utterly failing.
You know, the
Oh.
gangrel Primogen, he generally doesn't give a fuck, but there is this brief look of disgust as he glances at Kevin. He does not seem impressed by this performance.
Well, it's always fun to mess with the guy with only one point of manipulation, you know?
You know, he's more a physical person. Actually, Alberta walks over to you, Malik. And she speaks to you.
Good evening, madam.
Good evening. I do find it interesting how the previous primogen of your clan met his end. There were so few people in the room after the well, during the fight, and so many of them fell to the regent. And strangely enough, while the prince and his child survived, the ghoul that was in them met an unfortunate car accident a couple of days later. I do find it useful to exercise some of the abilities both our clans share at times. It does make staying aware of what has happened so much easier at times. Wouldn't you agree? We are certainly privileged to share certain abilities which the other clans cannot use as easily.
Oh yes, I would agree. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I did. I find it useful to discreetly glance at my potential opponents or competitors at times. It is certainly an advantage, one which you should make use of as well when the opportunity presents itself. My, everyone does seem to be distracted and nobody's looking at you right now.
That was interesting.
Hint, hint.
Because I have been chatting here in the chat. Yes?
Well, would
It
you
does-
perhaps like to use your fancy Auspex abilities on someone here?
Yes, I would very much like to do so.
Well, you don't know. Malik. Would you like to use this opportunity to roll Auspex on someone? Or rather, the one of the Auspex
The
abilities.
sheriff. The current sheriff and child of the prince, who has just been accused of diablerie.
Where is
by,
which one is the child of the prince?
The guy in the suit standing next to the prince.
James Bond?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Nope. The aura appears clear. Though, I should actually make you roll for it.
Yeah, I was going to.
Well, go ahead and make your roll. Maybe you can pick up something else.
Is that perception and awareness?
It's a perception empathy for aura sight. Yeah. He seems moderately annoyed, but his aura is clear otherwise. Almost like he doesn't quite want to be at this event. Would you like to use aura sight on someone else?
I doubt he would actually have anything in his aura, because otherwise he'd have instantly been accused of diablerie.
Well, the prince was in the room with him when
I was gonna do the
regent
prince.
died.
The prince?
Okay.
Could always be that he has hidden diablerie, like a certain people in our group.
You know, the prince's aura does seem rather strange. there are these strange black veins running through it.
Ooh.
Dum dum
That could
dum.
have been. Those could have been acquired from earlier diableries by, because I'm pretty certain people do diablerize if he has ever happened to diablerize someone in a blood hunt.
Doesn't it doesn't the black veins actually fade over time?
Yes, after a year for every single generation removed
Even
from each
even in a
other.
blood hunt, you're not allowed to diablerize.
Depends
Yes, if the
on...
prince actually allows it.
Yeah, there are exceptions.
Okay.
But Alberta certainly seems to have been hinting at something, doesn't she?
All
It
right.
really
yes.
depends on when those auras appear. Those veins in his aura appear.
I mean, yeah, and who would accuse the prince? I mean, I'm sure there's a rumor going around that he frenzied and ate a Sabbat thin blood accidentally. I mean, this shit happens in battle. Sometimes.
But actually, he's not 6th gen, so he
Well,
won't be. He's not 6th gen, so he won't be the person who's only has to drink vampire blood.
here's the fun part. The previous regent was 7th gen, since they shared a sire with Cornelius. That silence, though.
Oh man, oh man, that would be quite the interesting idea.
Wouldn't it? So, you wanna head over to the table and grab a weapon, Malik? After making this discovery?
Yeah, sure.
So, while you've been busy talking with Alberta, the last of the axes seems to have gone. There's certainly plenty of bats, crowbars, tire irons, and other implements you can grab, though.
Let me get a tire iron.
Okay. So, sure. So the chanting is getting louder, and people are slowly drifting out to various cars with various implements. So you can pick a vehicle and stand next to it while the rest of the team well, yeah, that team, since you are all Team Camarilla, but you know, since everyone seems to be happily picking out their vehicles. You want to pick separate ones? I mean, you can...
I'm picking this one, not the one where the Promethean is.
Okay. Seeing that this has rather a lot of people, one of the crazy Malkavians is actually gonna move over. Meanwhile, Borat is joining you there. Along
Hello.
with the guy that usually keeps order on these things. Okay, so
I just don't want to do it with Alberta, and I don't want to do it with the Prince or the Promethean. And it would be I'd rather not do it with Malik either, because
Okay.
So should we buff our strength to do this?
If you want to, depending, if you have a lot of blood, you might as well.
You're still all completely full after refueling after the fight.
It's 1 point per each point of blood.
Yeah, you can buff as high as you want.
Or up to 6 to be exact.
Yeah, up to 6. Well, you can push it beyond 6, but then it only lasts for 3 turns.
I'll just be buffing to 6.
Actually, yeah. Emmet, seeing that people are here, and this is a far larger area where there are a lot more characters than just the named ones around, of course, essentially, actually speaks up, stepping into the open center area.
And nobody is with this La Sombra.
You know, she doesn't seem to mind all that much. You can go over to her if you want.
Nah.
Okay, so,
Maybe I should to get away from Borat over here.
well, you can
No.
do that.
Like, he's pretty safe.
And I don't like being around a Malkavian so much.
You know, Borat is one
It makes
of
me
the...
uneasy.
Well, considering the amount of people around this car, I might as well go to the one where there's only 2 people.
Sure. Yeah, strangely enough, Borat is one of the truly safe Malkavians, since, well, spoiler, but he actually doesn't have dementation.
That's against his law. That's against his. That's against the Balkavian entire thing, like their clan flaw.
No, he's still crazy. He's just a bloodline of the Malkavians that has a different discipline in place of dementation.
Oh. So you picked one of those things.
Yeah.
I have no idea what this is.
There are different bloodlines.
You flew me in later.
He's a
Like-
dominate Malkavian. He has the ability to dominate in place of dementation, which makes him good for sneaking in places and changing people's minds, which is perhaps why he's
Okay.
in charge of the spying, since he's naturally
Like
good
there
at
are.
it.
It's like there are multiple different types of most clans.
So, who all is this La Sombra's enemy exactly?
Oh,
I know she's
The Malkavians.
Just the Malkavians in general.
yeah, they
Yeah, all the
dislike-
Malkavians.
What did she do?
She broke
She
some
broke
shit
things.
in the chef's lab. She essentially upset Heisenberg. The Malkavians didn't like that. Heisenberg makes meth for them. They were unhappy with the development.
Is there any way to like smooth things over for them so she won't be seeking protection and junk?
Yes, I'm sure Chris will be willing to do that. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's a potential side quest, much like the club. It will
Okay.
bring it. I mean, she could train you in obtembration. She can certainly summon tentacles, and so she's a lot better than you at it.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I have obtembration.
Yes, well, at level 1 it's not that awesome yet.
Well, you shouldn't still use it when there are other vampires around.
Oh, I understand that. I understand that. That's why I actually kind of beat myself up over even having it now.
Yeah, potence might have been better.
Indeed.
Oh well.
But it is one of the
Live and learn.
unique abilities. So
Yeah.
later on, it might prove useful to have.
How much do you have to actually be able to summon tentacles? Is that 2 or 3?
3. 2 is the Cloud of Darkness thing.
And you have to spend more to up your stats in another clan's disciplines, right?
Yeah, it's 7 as opposed to 5. But hey, there might be another La Sombra you can eat at some point, right?
Yeah, I will look into that.
Okay.
Gangrels have potence though too, right?
Wait,
Yeah,
what?
Gangrel have potence, right?
No, it's Bruja, La Sombra, and Nosferatu.
Okay.
Well, we'll be heading over there soon.
Indeed.
Okay, let's go ahead and just beat up some cars now.
Yeah, Emmet is actually in the center of the thing, holding up his hands for everyone to quiet. So, he just goes, "Is everyone ready?" Chanting picks up again.
Yes.
It
I-
quiets down. He
Really?
says, "I can't hear you." You know, just really pumping the crowd up. And he keeps doing that for a minute or two until it's a roar of just you can't even pick out the words, the crowd is just roaring. Then, once it quiets for one last time, he raises his hand and motions for the prince, and the prince proceeds with a heave of mighty strength, using the potence he seems to have to flip his car over, and the smash-a-thon has started. And yeah, Emmet moves back over, and the people... It's almost eerily quiet as people don't necessarily jump in on their cars straight away.
I go ahead and... can I start rolling now?
Uh, yes, but I will want descriptions with every roll. Essentially, people are almost like being artistic about it, right? Just not just trying to smash things up, but do it with style.
It's strength and brawl, right?
It's
Strength and melee.
yeah. I think that crowbar/axe demolition jobs make a lot of sense for it to be strength and melee.
Okay.
So
Like, do I get bonuses from my weapon?
I suppose actually we're gonna mostly make it an RP thing, as you can describe how you use that weapon to make yourself look as cool as possible while doing this. So sure, I would prefer if you described what you're doing first before actually smashing into the cars. So Malik, how are you gonna approach this? Going for the windows, the tires, what's left of them? What are you smashing?
I'd like to jump on the hood and then just wail on the windshield.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Excellent. The windshield just shatters under a barrage of blows. I am going to be describing what happens at the cars you're at in detail, and just after a few rolls, we are going to take a look at what has happened in the meantime with the other cars, okay? So,
Okay.
Yeah.
the La Sombra proceeds to summon a pair of shadow tentacles, which rip into the back doors of the car, tearing them to ribbons with a screech of tortured metal. So, Serath, what do you do?
Well, I go by the side of the car, and I attempt to smash through the roof so that it actually goes and breaks completely.
Okay, you want to cave in the roof. Roll for it.
Well, like, as I said, do I get a bonus on my weapon bonus?
No, you're not really rolling damage, it's more of a systematic demolition. So you can, instead of, and like I said, it's a blunted axe since it's been used against metal so many times, it's more of style points. But you can certainly use the axe head to just rip through the sheet metal of the car with
No, like,
strength.
I'm planning on using the other side of the axe, the one that's the blunt side, as more of like a hammer.
Okay,
More effective on doing damage over a larger area.
okay, sure.
Only two?
You don't quite cave in the roof with your first attempts, but you leave some very respect-worthy dents in it. Borath, meanwhile, is happily stabbing the tires with a blissful look on his face. And let me just quickly check how good is Brett at potence and strength. Oh, Jesus Christ. I made him strong. So yeah, he is actually using a crowbar. He first proceeds to rip open the baggage compartment of the car, and then just manages to pry it entirely off and toss it aside like so much trash. Meanwhile, at the other things, the Malkavians are engaging their particular you know, little peculiarities, Bruja just seem to be wailing at things, whereas the gangrel are happily ripping things up with their claws. At the prince's car, the new sheriff seems to mostly just watch, half-heartedly bashing out a window now and again, while the prince and the Bruja Primogen seem to be competing on opposite sides of the car as to who can smash it up with bats better, who can do more damage to it, just showing off their raw manliness and strength, trying to outdo each other in a show-friendly competition. So, how do you want to continue with this?
Is it back to me?
Yeah, sure.
I was going to ask if I could roll dexterity and athletics and do a flip to the back and then break out the headlights or the tail lights.
Sure, but it is a large enough jump that, since you're at the front of the car now, that you will need at least 2 successes, and that's, I think, being generous. So, if that's what you want to do, you can go for it.
Maybe increase the difficulty to 7.
Well,
Don't give him ideas.
I'm already asking for multiple successes, and this isn't really a stressful combat situation or situation where you could fall and get yourself impaled, so it's not that stressful.
Aw, he won't get impaled. Aw, this is just sad.
No!
You fall
Well, it's bad enough.
face first on the roof, and one of the lashing tentacles manages to nick you, dealing a point of lethal damage. The La Sombra is looking at you in horror, just going, "I'm so sorry." Though, yeah, it makes dramatic sense for you to take a point of damage there. So, you can either heal that or stay at bruised or whatever, but with so much shrapnel flying and so much deadly crap happening, a few people are gonna get nicked.
The slash is lethal damage, right?
Yeah. Not that it matters since it's... well, actually, no. You can actually soak it since it's just 1 point, right? I'm not gonna rule that you automatically... that it automatically goes through, but certainly, you know, you can see that it cut through the skin at least. That La Sombra seems to have the worst luck. She just seems to keep pissing people off.
Well,
I was showing out.
Has she been cursed? Like, seriously, I'm going to ask you, has she been cursed?
No, it's just the dice gods, really. She has it's roleplay, and, I mean, she's kind of made to be a bit of a derp, and it's really coming through.
Well, there is the cursed flaw.
No, her flaws are all social. So, yeah.
You should have given her the cursed flaw.
I mean...
like the 3 points one.
Could you roll to see if you soaked damage or not, just to see if you'll need to heal from this? And to see just how much you managed to scare that poor girl that she has made another enemy.
That's stamina and...
Fortitude.
What?
If you have any, but you don't, so it's just stamina. Yeah, you're fine. So you managed to land unflatteringly on your gut, on the car roof, and Serath, what do you do?
Well, I'll look annoyed at. I'll be looking very annoyed at the roof of the car and at my axe, and then try again with more with more soul in it this time.
Okay, roll your soul.
I have the raw soul now?
Well, you don't have one, you
It's a
soul-drinking
joke.
asshole, so roll strength and melee instead. Yeah,
That's more like it.
the roof collapses under your barrage. Brett actually smiles at you with an, approving grin. Apparently he thinks you're doing good.
I'm not totally failing.
Meanwhile, Borat is smashing out the headlights on the front with the back of his, with the handle of his knife, and Brett proceeds to, pummel the back window into essentially powder. And
You
meanwhile,
mean the entire door, right?
no, he's not going for the door. He's ripped off the, what's his face, the lid of the baggage compartment, and now
Oh, so
he's,
the very back, so the very back window, not the back door window.
yeah. Meanwhile, there is a muted explosion from one of the other cars. Apparently there was still some gasoline fumes in the car with the gangrel, and, Marcella runs off screaming after taking a point of aggravated damage, but the gangrel just shrug it off and are laughing there.
Well, at least they have fortitude, you know. They'll be okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, actually, yeah, no. The Bruja continue to just smash at things. Alberta is, well, she is punching holes in the side of the car, again with a knife, but at, lightning speed. And yeah,
Yay for celerity.
this is kind of an event where the vampires can show off their don't fuck with me cred as far as combat prowess is concerned, you know?
I'm failing miserably.
Well, you did pulverize a windshield, but,
Anybody can break a windshield.
Yeah. Okay, so, what's your next move?
Well, since I'm face down on top of the car, right? I'm just gonna roll off of it and kind of just
Shrug it off?
shrug it off, kind of laugh it off, kind of be
Okay.
able to laugh at myself. And then I'm gonna just use the tire iron and hit the trunk as hard as I can.
Okay, roll for it. Yeah, the La Sombra has been spending her previous round just apologizing. But the tentacles now move towards the front of the car and tear up the front two doors, again into jagged metal splinters, as you happily pulverize the rear end of the car. Serath, the roof has been sufficiently caved in. It's essentially, you can see the outline of the seats through the roof. It has been
Yay!
just pounded down. How do you wish to proceed?
Go to the front of the car, and I try to smash the engine into the ground.
Wow.
Well, I'm trying here. I probably won't succeed, but hey.
Right through the hood? You're not gonna rip that off first?
Yeah, I'm going to through the hood.
Okay.
There has to be do things correctly to be able to succeed.
You know, the engine I'm pretty sure is mounted pretty securely in a car.
Why do I always roll so many ones?
Yeah, well, if you had gotten 5 successes, I would have given you major win and you would have succeeded at it, but that's a pretty hard ask. So you managed to pound in the hood pretty respectably, but you don't get the engine. Luckily for you, nobody else seems to realize that that was actually your goal.
It's just too bad.
Meanwhile, Brett is gonna rip off the already damaged roof. And Borat is smashing what pieces of glass are still intact. At times stomping on them even, to make sure they're completely and utterly broken.
Without any shoes on.
Yep, he doesn't seem to give a fuck.
Very well. He has now gained the title of doesn't give a fuck, from according to me.
Yeah. The car that the Gangrel have managed to set on fire somehow, though they were all supposed to be empty of gasoline, go figure, it seems to be burning currently for a little bit at least, and they're happily just smoking around and warming their hands on the fire, showing large amounts of fuck you all, we ain't scared.
They probably have like a lot of courage then.
Well, yeah, they have some, and they have fortitude. And like I said, this is an opportunity for everyone to, up their street cred, show off their badassery.
Shouldn't they be rolling their courage to see if they go and rush Shrek?
If I rolled for every single thing that people do, we would be doing this for 2 sessions. So this is a cinematic series. It's essentially a cutscene with some rolls.
Aww, I won't get to see. I won't get. So they won't be rush Shreking this session.
Yes, but the Malkavian that was bothering you did Rotrek and ran off, so there's that.
It's something.
So, meanwhile, things are proceeding apace. The car which the Prince and the Bourgeois Primogen have been happily working on is starting to resemble a pile of broken metal. Elsewhere, to varying degrees, people are having large amounts of fun. The Promethean, let me just check his stats. The Promethean is a badass and he's absolutely wrecking that car. Certainly doing at least as well as the Bourgeois Primogen. Apparently he had enough time before being sent into torpor to get rather strong. So, how do you want to proceed? The cars are pretty much wrecked at this point, so you will get 1, maybe 2 more rolls. So how do you want to finish this off?
I believe mine still has a roof, right?
Yes it does, though the roof is almost ready to collapse since most of the stuff under the roof has been happily ripped out by shadow tentacles.
I was going to try and rip the roof off.
Okay, so something like 3 successes ought to be enough. So, you may proceed to roll for it.
Oh, man!
The roof
It's
is
a
not...
botch.
It isn't a botch, but the roof isn't particularly impressed.
Your attack just bounces off, essentially.
As you heave-ho at the roof, the Lasombra actually discreetly cuts away the last of the supports using the shadow tentacles to make you look good, and winks at you and mouths sorry again, as you apparently managed to rip the roof off and nobody probably noticed that she helped you out there.
Yay! I'm still not helping her.
She's trying to impress you. I don't expect it to work, but she does. She's doing everything she can.
How long is she gonna survive?
If it keeps going this way for her, in another 3 or 4 sessions, she might just vanish. She's circling the drain.
I'll think about helping her, just so I can get some obteneration training here.
Serath, how do you wish?
Well, I try again to smash the engine into the ground, because apparently I didn't succeed last time.
Okay, I'm gonna be generous and say that you did manage to weaken some of the engine's supports last time, so this time you will only need 4 successes. And you actually
Yay!
succeed. So you manage to wreck the engine block for great justice. So the cars are smashed up, and well, certainly a lot of the Tremere might have considered this beneath them previously, and there's a new appreciation for you by some of the local bourgeois, and the prince, well, he doesn't seem to give too much of a fuck, but he isn't disappointed in you at least, so that's a positive difference, right?
Yay!
So, is there anyone in particular that you want to know about? So, you know, essentially how well they did, what kind of abilities they used, and so on.
Not really, you described it pretty well.
What about you, Malik? Was there anyone you were paying particular attention to?
Not really, but I am kind of curious about the Bruja Primogen here.
Okay. So, yeah, let me just take a look at his stats so that I don't accidentally tell a lie. Yeah. So, yeah, he did pretty well, but he does seem to have slightly bulked up from when you saw him previously, suggesting that he may well have blood buffed himself somewhat. Maybe his strength isn't his most powerful ability after all. But, of course, he couldn't let the prince carry the day, so he really did... You can tell that he was trying really hard to, you know, stay on even footing with the prince, because after all, potency is kind of his clan's thing, and he can't look bad in front of the Ventru.
Okay, how did this Kennedy Wisdom do?
You know, let's see what are his or her stats, depending on which side you're looking at. Not particularly well. It was more of an artistic representation of chaos on the various windshields. Almost like she or he rather was trying to make a painting by smashing the windshield in pretty patterns with a tire iron. Less
Can I
about
ask about Can I
less.
ask about one more?
Sure. You can just. I mean, I assume this takes place over like half an hour, say. So you certainly have the time to glance around, right? It's not then like just 4 or 5 turns of smashing. It's more of an extended thing.
The Barnard Latham, he's pretty strong, and I wanted to know exactly what he did to the car, I guess.
Yeah, sure. He actually had one of the dulled axes, and he made a point of smashing the axe into the metal and then dragging it across to just rip the sheet metal up and, you know, fuck up the car that way. Less through simply cutting into it with the axe and more through ripping the metal apart with raw strength.
What generation is he?
You don't know. You would need to test his blood.
It's probably 8th gen.
Okay.
Maybe more, maybe less.
He's 8th to 9th gen. I doubt he's like any higher than that, and the likelihood of him being lower is pretty low too.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. He was, you know, more of the average vampire in his day, and even though neonates and young ancilla may have been, you know, lower gen back then, it's not by that much.
Yeah, I'm pretty much, that's all my curiosities there.
You, Serath, is there anyone you have thought you to ask about?
Not really, as I said earlier.
Okay, so unless there's something else you want to discuss with some of the people here, you can head back to the Chantry and actually report to the Lord about the events that have transpired.
I can do that.
Good. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Alrighty, on to the Chantry then. Oh, yeah, I should
The
really...
bodies would be removed.
Yes, I'm gonna do that in a second. I just need to split the video. This has been running for 15 minutes now.